Phase 4.
I told him when I come back, we're going swimming. So, tell everybody thank you, Kirill. Скажи, дякую.
Дякую.
Не, английский.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, что? Very much. Еще раз.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Future president of Ukraine right here. All right. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the update. Today, it is going to be a special time together. Let me crank that light up there a little bit so we're not so dark in here. How about like that? Like that. That's much better. It's going to be a special hour. So we're going to be streaming right now from 2 to 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. At that point in time, I will then be switching my stream off, and I will encourage you and invite you and redirect you to the Shills there with Dick Dawson and our team of Ukrainian supporters on the Shills. So that's the plan for the next 2 hours, and I highly encourage you to be here for both. I can tell you it's a little abnormal time that I do a live stream on a Saturday. My lives are typically Monday through Fridays, and then videos drop on the weekends. But today I wanted to do a Q&A. I have some video that is pertinent and timely that needs to be seen. And we're making major changes on the Discord, like mega. And it's all for the good. So as we get going right now, I want to begin by saying thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, turning the notification bell on so you do not miss anything, and sharing this with others. We are growing. We're growing everywhere. We're growing on Ukraine. We're growing our Discord. And our Discord, for me personally, I want it to be a community not only about supporting Ukraine, but about supporting each other, bringing people together, standing for what is right, figuring out that the things that separate us and we disagree upon is not as important as the things that bring us together and we agree on. So there, it's not just Ukraine, although that is a key focus. Additionally, it's menus and memes, and they're building it out like crazy. And we just instituted a new section last night that I will be starting soon with a motivation. About a 60 or 90-second video will not be on YouTube. It will be in the Discord, and there just to encourage you to be who you are destined to be. There's only one you. There's only one person that can do what you do. There's only one person with your skills and your gifts and your talents. And I just want to encourage you to be all that you can be, no matter where you're at, no matter what language you speak, no matter what your affiliation is in any strata of life. Together, we are a strong force. So there it is. I also want to give a big shout out and special thank you to Annette. She is the moderator and one of the team leaders there for Dick Dawson, and she has helped us immensely. You see a wrench by her name. She's been helping Blonde Bombsheller and Dunk and myself and our other moderators fix this Discord, and she's going to be a big help today with really the first time I've actually tried to do a Q&A. And the questions are already in. We have a system in place, and hopefully everything will work out. So thank you very much for everything to all of you. And guys, it's going to be a really good time. So let's get going without further waiting or talking. Let's roll. Today, all things Ukraine Q&A. Now, I'm going to start. This is my learning curve here. I'm going to start with some questions here. And then I'm going to get to some information that I have for you. So first question came in from Chris Newing. Chris, thank you for the question. The question was, do you think Ukraine would consider employing ex-F-16 fighter pilot contractors to bolster the Air Force? I can officially answer that question for you. No. So we have to look at that question two ways. Number one, would they consider? Absolutely. Would they welcome? I would hope so. But they can't. So what do you mean they can't? So in the Ukrainian army and in the Ukrainian Air Force, only officers can pilot aircraft. Only officers can pilot aircraft. The way the Ukrainian army is set up right now, and with foreign fighters that come, whether it's through a legion or they just come, try to find a unit to help and go through the process that way, as many people have done without officially joining the International Legion, the Foreign Legion. There's both there. A foreigner with a non-Ukrainian passport is not permitted by the law of Ukraine to be an officer. Therefore, legally right now, Ukraine is not set up for foreigners, Americans or Europeans or other nationalities to fly aircraft according to their constitution and law. Can that be changed? Of course. Is that something that Ukraine could do? Yes. But right now, that is not a possibility. So I hope that helps you guys. And yes, in time, I know you want to try to get me for my vMix call. There's no vMix call lag, Nick. I'm not calling myself. vMix call surprised you, Nick. It's good. No lag. You guys are getting lag. I have no lag here. Everything is good. So reset your stuff, and coming from me, all is good. Question number 2. Bruce Ingalls sending in the question. The Russian Orthodox Church is described as Christian nationalism. How is this different from charismatic Christianity? What denominations are so aligned? Okay. What is this? Ask the pastor day? Okay, so let me make this simple for you. Charismatic Christianity, whether it's in the United States or anywhere else around the world, and there are charismatic Christians, there are charismatic Catholics. Charismatic Christians believe in what is called the full gospel. They believe in the baptism of the Holy Spirit with the evidence of speaking in other tongues. We've all heard about it. Some have joked about it. Others have said, oh, that could be about God. I don't think I'm going to touch it, but I think they're crazy. Wherever you stand on that, that is your prerogative. That is charismatic Christianity, believing in the full gospel, the infilling of the Holy Spirit, okay? That has no belief system that aligns with the Russian Orthodox Church, initials ROC, R-O-C. But do charismatic churches tend to be a little bit more nationalistic in the United States or other nations? Typically, yes, there is a flavor, a nuance to that. So I'm being completely honest with you, 100%. Russian Orthodox Church, absolutely Christian nationalist. But here's what I want you to understand, and I feel my answer is very accurate. Christian nationalism, whether it's the Russian Orthodox Church, First Baptist in Gainesville, Georgia, First Methodist in Montreal, Canada, St. Timothy Episcopal in London, it doesn't matter. Christian nationalist churches / ministries have a serious, significantly flawed theology. Listen to me, because it's a big, big issue. And I get asked this all the time due to my background. It is flawed, and it is evil, and it is anti-Bible. Everybody listen to me closely. You thought you're getting all things Ukraine Q&A, but you're getting a theology lesson. Listen to me and don't run away if you're anti-God. I'm going to encourage you right now. Don't run away. Listen. It is anti-biblical. Biblical values bring people together. Biblical values are God-centered, not your country-centered. Listen to me closely. God is not an American. You've got me preaching now. My God. God is not an American. God is not a Russian. Okay. For those of you that believe in God, we believe what the Bible says, that God is a spirit. He is not of this planet. If you believe in creation, he created it. If you don't, just listen to me. I'm still going to encourage you. It is evil nationalism, because nationalism basically has one fundamental belief. We are greater than everybody else. So an American Christian nationalist believes that America is superior. The Russian Orthodox Church, led by Archbishop Kirill, in the back pocket of Vladimir Putin, the devil on the ear, whispering into Vladimir Putin's ear, is Bishop Kirill. It's pure evil. It's FSB. It's KGB. It's KGB. That nationalism is evil. It states that Russians are superior and everybody else is down here. Listen to me. It doesn't matter if you're red, yellow, white, or black. You speak Chinese, English, Russian, Spanish, Japanese, Cantonese. I don't care what you speak. Don't care what you believe in. We are all human beings. If I cut you, you bleed red. If you cut me, we bleed red. We breathe the same oxygen. We have the same physiology in our bodies, and nobody is greater than anybody else. That's the problem with nationalism. Okay, sermon over. But you guys asked. I hope that answers your question, Bruce Ingles. JP Van Eck, with North Korea in play and with all the hardware they have got, military personnel, why can't the West lend a hand? Why be scared? Why? It's like the West just plays in Russia's hand. Because I thought about this question, JP. It's not really fear. It is lack of backbone. And it is the inability to understand. I always refer to it as a chess game, the chess game that is being played, and how far behind the rest of the world is in regard to the moves that Russia has been making, even pre-Putin, even after the fall of the Soviet Union. Remember, I think I was talking with Nick about it on End Time News. The Soviet Union fell in 1991 and the Soviet Union disbanded, but the Commonwealth of Independent States was born. CIS. You guys remember CIS? The ideology of the Kremlin didn't go anywhere. In fact, it just bubbled and stewed. And now we are experiencing that. Bruce Ingles, can you ward off Putin with garlic? Well, Bruce, if you ever are near Vladimir Putin, put on a garlic necklace and let's try. Johnny Nedregard, thank you. New member with my Norwegian friend from the island there, 2222. Thank you. That update on Project Tatiana and Campaign 22. I do not have an updated number today. However, I will be talking to Yana because I know it's growing. I know it's gaining momentum. I still have scheduled a big stream with 3 very well-known guys off of Twitter, and we're going to push on that as well. We just made a $5,000 donation last week, and we are making process. Bruce Ingles, can Pastor Terry recognize and aid PTSD sufferers on the zero line? We do. I was sharing a story last year, and that's from Bruce Ingles, that even one of our medics there that I've known for almost 20 years, completely destroyed mentally with PTSD. And it's everywhere, guys. It's not just with the soldiers, it's with the civilians. And we do. And a lot of the ways on the front line, you asked the question, zero line. How do we help on the guys that are on the zero line? Well, we cannot remove them from the battlefield. We cannot take them to a sanatorium or a rest place, give them a 3-week vacation in the mountains, send them to counseling. But what we can do is love them, buy them pizza, sit, hang out, stay with them in their places, tell jokes, laugh, and be normal. And right now, that's the greatest help on the front line is being normal. Bernard Bowden, what happened to freedom of religion from Pennsylvania? Greetings, my fellow friend from Pennsylvania. What happened to freedom of religion? Nothing has happened to freedom of religion. And my answer, and I'm fairly well versed, I have a degree in theology. It doesn't mean anything. It just means I studied it. But freedom of religion is I firmly stand for and believe in freedom of religion. But I was not referring to any freedoms of religion. We were talking about nationalism, and that was the question. Nationalism in any religion. If you are thinking that your nationality, and I'm an American. If I think that Americans are greater than Canadians, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. If I think an American is greater than a Tanzanian, I'm wrong. We're all human beings. Yes, America has been fruitful. Yes, America has been able to help other nations, especially economically. Yes, all of the answer to those questions. And other nations have done the same. European nations, Canada, Australia. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about with that question, is there, a problem with freedom of religion? The answer to that is absolutely not. Wayne Pakanen. Franco's regime used the Catholic Church to promote its fascist agenda. Catholicism was taught in all schools, and the government used the educational system to connect nationalism and religion. Okay. Organizations have been used to connect terrible initiatives since history began. Of course, kids are educated in schools, and schools can be used to do that, but that is why we are supposed to have oversight, monitoring, educational systems, standards, et cetera, et cetera. But, if we want to take the argument that schools can be used to indoctrinate fascism or any other line of thought, well, so can unions. So can the huge truckers union. So can the United Auto Workers Union. So can Elks clubs. So can after school programs. So can preschool. So can nursing homes. I mean, you can break it down to any segment. So can churches. So can anything, any place where there is a group, it can happen. But that's why we have to be on our P's and Q's, and we have to have checks and balances in system. So, anyway, that's a great there. I'm gonna let some more questions build. Annette, thank you. I hope I'm doing good for you. I'm seeing the green checks. You guys are like smoking it. Blonde Bombsheller over in the chat. All I can say is thank you. Now, I want to get to a little bit of stuff here that needs to be shared. We're going to go for about another 40 minutes. So if you have a question, throw it in there. Annette is watching the chat specifically for your questions. You can even tag at Annette, and I'll check back on those in just a few minutes and do my best to answer. This is actually a lot of fun, and we're all learning and growing together. Let's do this. Ukrainian confirmation today and yesterday of DPRK, Democratic People's Republic of Korea, North Korea. So we've given the numbers, and I'm confident in the numbers, that at least 10,000 troops are already in eastern Ukraine. Confident on that number. It's happening, not just units that are helping with missiles, but also early special forces, early engineering, smaller groups, early access to figure out how the best partnership can happen there. North Korean troops are on the ground in eastern Ukraine. This is directly from GUR head Budanov. Budanov stating it now. By November 1st, the next rotation of North Korean troops will deploy to eastern Ukraine. Minimum 10,000 minimum by November 1st. They are training right now in eastern Russia. They are being prepared. I have video of that. I am not showing that video because I cannot authenticate it. But there are multiple videos flowing around, and it does show North Korean troops being outfitted with Russian gear. There are Russian speakers there in full uniforms. They're Russian soldiers, but I can't tell you the date. I can't tell you the place, so I'm not going to share the video. Is the video genuine? Absolutely. Are the Koreans and Russians partnering together now? Are they being outfitted? Are there multiple thousands in Ukraine? Yes. Are there multiple thousands going on with further training in Eastern Russia? Yes. Will we see more of that happen? Absolutely. They are training and preparing, and Budanov even giving the day, November 1st. I need to get that question right now because it's connected. Is Budanov staying? Wasn't he supposed to be rotated? Yes. Well, that was, just hang on with that thought there. Ends 100. Still probably going to happen. Still probably going to happen. But timing on all of that. So this is the report of Budanov. So we go with it. Are you training in southern Ukraine? I'm going to give you a report now of today coming from two sources. Number one is Peter Andrushenko. He is the advisor to the mayor of Mariupol. Folks, I'm not talking about the mayor of Mariupol that is there now under Russian occupation, talking about the real, authentic mayor of Mariupol who is not there, but still in complete observation. He's the eyes, the ears, internal communications, knowing what's going on inside Mariupol. His advisor, Petro Andrushenko. By November 1st, the RF, the Russian Federation, will be fully prepared to initiate a new offensive from the south on a new axis. Right now in southern Ukraine, and you see 3 black circles there, Zaporizhia was just hit within the last 2 hours with glide bombs. We're waiting on further information about that. But my 3 black circles there, that's that southern line between Zaporizhia and then, of course, all the way over to Pokrovsk, down to Kharkova, Orikhiv, Kamashevata, down to Robotny, all of that area, Ugledar that just fell. That southern line, Russia is coming. They are continuing to push on it. They are increasing artillery. They are increasing drones. I know that from firsthand witnesses, our friends there. Somewhere along that southern line, we delivered a armored Kosevac. Those guys go directly to the zero to evacuate soldiers. They are directly telling us that, guys, Greg and Jania, it is crazy dangerous here now. More drones, more artillery. Our towns are being destroyed now. That is behind and off of the line where these troops base for stabilization points. We are seeing an increase, and we know that Zaporizhia, coming out from Peter Andrushenko and also Ivan Fedorov. I don't have his name on there, but Ivan Fedorov is the former mayor of Melitopol, who is now the Zaporizhian governor. He is based in the city of Zaporizhia. That is not OPSEC. He makes videos from Zaporizhia. It's public information. The training bases in Mariupol and Berdyansk. So Mariupol in the red there, the right arrow coming up. Berdyansk, the seaport, very important seaport on the Azov Sea. Those bases are fully functioning and fully loaded. And the guys behind the lines over there are saying, get ready. New units are coming from the south. You guys remember when we were hearing how these bases would be struck behind the lines 6 months ago, 9 months ago? It's not happening as much now from Ukraine. Ukraine striking deeper into Russia with the supply that they have, especially with these long-range drones hitting into Crimea the best they can. Feodosia, for example, down in southern Ukraine, where the oil fields were burning for days and days and days. Ukraine doing the best they can, but there is a buildup in the south, and we need to pay attention to it. Here's what I find interesting, and then I'll go back to a couple of questions. Here's what I find interesting. Petro Andrushenko said by November 1, the RF will be fully prepared to initiate a new offensive from the south on a new axis, coming up from Berdyansk, coming around from Mariupol, that direction to push to the southern to reinforce. Slide before. November 1st, the next rotation of North Korean troops will deploy to eastern Ukraine. That's from Budanov. Are you seeing a similarity here? Professor Gertis and I talked about it very clearly that this does give Vladimir Putin an advantage, that he has the ability now to use North Korean troops, and they're not all cannon fodder. These engineering units are good, they're skilled, and we will see about the other units. But he gets to use them basically free of charge. Free of charge. He doesn't care if they're killed. He's gaining something from it. Troops, cannon fodder. He's keeping his peace at home, saying, hey, we've got other guys going, so our sons don't have to go right now. At the same time, Kim Jong-un gaining prominence, gaining notoriety. Now Donald Trump is talking nonstop about Kim Jong-un in South Korea, the war that potentially could happen there. He's gaining what he wants and getting a lot of money. And if X amount of North Korean soldiers die, North Korea will not open their mouth, and nor will Russia, and neither will the rest of the world. So that's what we're looking at there. Let me go back to the full cam and let me get over here and answer some questions. This is fun, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Got it. Let me do super chats right now. Petra Olson, member for 6 months, non-smoking initiative, our Swedish non-smoking initiative, with love to Ukraine. Thank you for that. Johnny Nedergaard, I got you already, my Swedish brother there in Norway. He's an island. Nikki Hill gifting 5 memberships. Thank you for that. End Time Independent News. Nick, $10 super chat. And a quote, for in the final analysis, our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this small planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's future, and we are all mortal. JFK. That is worth a repeat. And I think that's a comment at least coinciding with my talk about nationalism and that we are all humans. For in the final analysis, John F. Kennedy, our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this small planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's future, and we are all mortal.
Слава Україні!
Nikki Hill, member for 6 months. Welcome to crew member. Thank you for that. Appa Talks, member for 2 months, gifting 1 membership. Thank you, Appa Talks. I remember seeing you on video with Rick before. It's been many, many months ago, but I've seen it. Thank you for your huge support of Ukraine. Johnny Nedergaard, new member, gifting a membership. Thank you for that, Johnny, my brother. And BB, working hard, blonde bombsheller, gifting 10 memberships today, as well as working behind the scenes like crazy. I want to say thank you so much for that. Deeply appreciated. As always, let's go back now. Am I getting an A+ here? I hope so. If I'm getting an A+, it's because you guys built this for me. Thank you so much. I can function now and help people. All right, Amy Akins, let's get back to the questions. Member for 6 months, Adanet, coming to me. How is it acceptable for North Korean troops to be fighting with Russia, but it's not okay for other countries to officially go and help Ukraine defend itself? Amy, thank you for that question. And now, everyone here on the live channel, on the live stream, or maybe you're watching it on demand later, think about the question Amy just asked. How is it acceptable for North Korean troops to be fighting in Ukraine for Russia, but other nations cannot go and fight for Ukraine? I think I have something for that. I'm sorry to tell you that's the answer. It is not acceptable. And it is because, Amy, you hang on, President Zelensky will answer your question. I have a video coming in just a few moments, and President Zelensky will answer your question. Mertzy, my brother. Greg, do you think the West will let Ukraine go weapons free due to North Korea's involvement? No, sir, I do not. No. It's irrelevant. North Korea doesn't bring anything to the table that Russia did not already bring. So why Okay, so Mertzi, think about it logically now. The West has been restraining Ukraine, led by the United States, not wanting to escalate the war. That's always their answer. We do not want to escalate. We do not want to escalate. Well, now with North Korea participating at the early stages with Russia, why would that change? Now they will potentially be more afraid to allow Ukraine to escalate because we have allowed, through a lack of leadership and no backbone, two massive nations. And one I'm speaking about not only geographically, but with supply. That's Russia. And North Korea, a dictatorship, evil regime that is basically a 27% of their GDP, of their gross domestic product, their infrastructure, their economy is built on a war machine annually. We have now let these two nations join together like never before. Putin, June the 19th, being in Pyongyang, driving Kim Jong-un around before he gave him some white horses and a gift. Remember that. And now, just this week, we have the State Duma having the document on their desk to approve that states officially that Russia and North Korea are open military partners required to defend each other upon attack. I then shared with you guys, I was with Prof and caught him by surprise with this thought, that my understanding, Russia now can claim that Ukraine has invaded its sovereign territory in Kursk. According to that document, North Korea has the responsibility to respond and help Russia. It's simple. We are allowing it to happen. Will this now change the West? No. If anything, in my opinion, unless something changes, it's going to push the West to stop Ukraine even quicker. Just my thought. PRB, what is the current situation in Ukraine's energy supply? Great question. Perfect timing. Thank you for that. Let's go here. Perfect timing, PRB. Chernihiv and Sumy, I have it outlined for you in the green. I have in blue, basically the outline of the Ukrainian nation. Red is the occupied portions that Russia is occupying. In the green are basically highlighted the regions of Chernihiv and Sumy. Chernihiv and Sumy are struggling with being de-energized over the last 24 hours due to strikes of shaheeds on critical infrastructure. Remember what I've been sharing with you guys. It is getting colder, although it's warm right now for a few days, but the trend line is down to cold. 0 is the magic number, Celsius, 32 Fahrenheit for you Americans in here with me. Once it's below that, Ukraine cannot guarantee stabilization of energy infrastructure. Above 0 or 32, they feel they can guarantee energy for citizens and the nation. But any strikes that happen change that immediately. Chernihiv and Sumy being struck by shaheeds over the last 24 to 36 hours, and critical infrastructure was hit. Energy systems are down. 3 days ago, Mykolaiv in the south was hit by 5 S-300s. Kherson was completely de-energized. So if everything is going normal, and Ukraine will get those repaired, but if everything's normal, they can supply energy. But you can see with just the last 3 or 4 days, the 5 S-300s in Mykolaiv, the shaheeds that are flying in Chernihiv and Sumy, it is basically a razor's edge. A razor's edge. It's just like barely hanging on to be able to keep that place energized. Now, this is something I've wanted to share with you guys for a while. I have heard this over my head many, many times. I have seen this many, many times. What I'm getting ready to share with you is exactly what Ukrainians experience on basically a daily basis. I try to describe to you the sound of a shaheed. Now, some video of the strikes. You will not see the strikes. You will just see some shaheeds flying in Sumy. And yeah, this is what it's like.
Вот это один, который крутится до сих пор.
That's one. Check this one.
Охуєть, воно прямо на мене летить. Надіюсь, ти
Notice the
мене
height.
зараз не пизданешся?
That was a bird.
Это пиздец. Викинуть тебе нахуй. Бля, прямо над головою. Фух.
If that bugs you or bothers you or affects you in any way, I'm sorry, but you need to see it. You need to hear it. That is what Ukrainians, and I've experienced so many times. I know many of you, maybe you're thanking it. Maybe it's not in the chat because I'm watching a different back-end system right now versus just reading the straight chat. But maybe you're thinking, why isn't somebody shooting at them? If that thing flew over my town, it wouldn't make it past one block. Western Pennsylvania, if it got to my house, it's gone. My son will be shooting at it. My daughter will be shooting at it. I will be shooting at it. It's gone. My mother-in-law will be shooting at it. And I'm not promoting guns or anything, guys. I'm just promoting we can defend ourselves. We have a right to bear arms. It doesn't make murderers. It's a deterrent. And if that thing flew over my house and it was heading to one of my neighbors' houses, I would shoot it down. You didn't hear anything going off there. Why? Because there is nothing. There is nothing. Those laws are changing now in Ukraine, though. They're changing pronto. And guys, those are the best two examples I can give you. You look at it, you go, oh, that's bigger than I thought. Yeah. Ooh, that's louder than I thought. Yeah. This is why we can be riding down the road and we can hear the Shaheed right above our truck. They're not good, guys. And there's a lot of them. So there's your energy update. That worked well with that. Let's go to this one. Actually, let me get back to here. All right, back to this. And then I want to get to some videos. Darren Vaughn, member 2 months. Greg, what does China think of the new alliance between Russia and North Korea? I can answer that right now. They love it. China has a relationship with North Korea. China is North Korea's best friend. And now Russia is. So great. It's all anti-West. China has a relationship with Russia, and that is growing. And today, I didn't do it in the update. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to do a video because I have some other stuff I want to share about Vladimir Putin, and I can throw Xi in there. Today, Xi visiting military complexes and raised the alert level for Chinese military. Cranked it up. Guys, the whole world is boiling. Michelle Marr, do you think the U.S. will remain silent on this until after the election? Yes. I've been saying that for months. Why? Because, sorry, I've got to go pure Americana now. And for those of you that are from the rest of the world, hopefully this will help you understand. This election right now, in my opinion, is 50-50. It could literally go any way. If anyone right now is calling a landslide for Kamala Harris, most people aren't seeing it. If anybody is calling a landslide for Donald Trump, most people don't see it. What are people seeing? Razor's edge. It can go either way. This is why Kamala Harris is campaigning the way she is, certain places that are not normal for her to go. Border, swing states that she typically wouldn't campaign in for the Democratic Party because there's a possibility she can win that. Donald Trump doing the same thing. So it's a razor's edge. So each side, in my opinion, especially in regard to international relations, not only Ukraine, but also Israel, Ukraine, Israel, China, North Korea, Iran, Putin, they're just kind of silent on it because they're trying to get past November 5. trying to gain extra votes. And you say, well, if they came out, wouldn't they gain extra votes? Some, but they would lose votes because our nation is divided completely. So after the election, everything's going to be after the election. Peter Pavel, 20 months ago. Is there any update on mobilization, improvement on training, indication there's reform in command structure to make ZSU better and more effective? They are. I can tell you the reserve mobile application news coming out today that they are modifying it. Changes on that will take place in November. And right now, huge discussions on lowering the mobilization age, even talking down to 21. And they are fighting about it inside Ukraine. And America is pressuring them to lower the mobilization age. And here is my opinion on that if you want to know. They need to lower the mobilization age absolutely 100% because a majority of the soldiers that I spend time with right on the front are 40 and 50 and 60 years old. It is an overwhelming majority of soldiers above 40 years old. They cannot keep up this pace. We're pushing into almost 3 years. We need young soldiers on the front. And I don't want to sacrifice people. I don't want to throw young people, to that brutal war. But guys, we need younger soldiers. It's a fact. PRB, will South Korea now supply weapons directly to Ukraine after North Korea sends soldiers to Russia? I do not know the answer to that. However, I can tell you that South Korea does support Ukraine. Would they do that? My direct answer to that without researching any would be no. South Korea will only do things that America signs off on because of our military strategic partnership, especially there now that North Korea and South Korea tensions are raising, and China has elevated its war footing in regard to Taiwan. And I'm sure they're even talking about the destabilization that is potentially going to be more between North and South Korea. So it's not like South Korea can just, it's terrible to say, but there's strategic partnership with the United States. South Korea is the place where we have one of our largest military operations there in Southeast Asia. So no, I don't see that. Greg, Andrea Schoaf, Greg, why do you think our elected officials cannot see the same evil between Russia and North Korea that World War II had with Germany and Italy? I'm not sure, Andrea, that they can't see it. I really believe they don't know how to respond to it. It is obvious. It is obvious. And I will say this with all fairness. All the American candidates right now, and of course, Donald Trump is not pro-Ukraine. We know that. In fact, I'm going to prove it to you in just a moment. We know that. But he still speaks about the loss of life there. He knows it's evil going on. Joe Biden knows it's evil going on. Kamala Harris knows it's evil going on. Our senators know it's evil. But why? Why will they not recognize it similarly to that of World War II? There is a lack of backbone, and there is a fear of escalation and reprisal that they feel that is more of a risk to the West, the United States, and the rest of the world. And I have said this for the last year or 18 months. At this point in time, for me, parts of this Ukraine war are being utilized as a sacrificial lamb for NATO and the West to deplete Russia, to learn about Russia, now to figure out North Korea, now to figure out even more Iran with their supply. And unfortunately, people in Ukraine are dying every day due to this. It's a very complex question. Hoof-hearted. Remember, 6 months since North Korea supplied more troops. Is there a plan in Ukraine to get more soldiers ready? Conscription. They have not made any adjustments for their ongoing mobilization now. There have been no messages, no commercials, no statements from Kyiv about North Korea other than they're here, world see it, they're here, and more are coming. Let's go to Super Chats. Thank you for that. Papa Dutch, member for 6 months, $5 Super Chat. Basic playground bully doctrine. I can do it, but they can't. That is exactly correct, Papa Dutch. UTV and Ham, KD9, WNV, member 2 months, $10 Super Chat. Doing what I can, Slava Ukraini. Papa Dutch, thank you for that, UTV. Papa Dutch, MAGA reminds me of the silly party from Monty Python. Papa Dutch, you can talk about Monty Python. Please do not talk about Blazing Saddles and them eating beans around the forest fire or the campfire. I love that, dude. All right, let me get back to the questions. Thank you. Okay, I am so happy. Everything's caught up. Let's go back to the news now, because this is what I want to share with you for the last 12 minutes here. Key comments this week. I want to play these right now, because I can't wait for tomorrow or Monday, because more I have to share with you specifically about Vladimir Putin and BRICS. And I know people out there sometimes get frustrated at me. Greg, we don't even want to see that evil dude. You need to see him and you need to hear him so you understand how to respond to him. I'm going to put it in English for you, working on that already today. So tomorrow or Monday, you need to hear it. You need to, because if not, we say stupid things like Donald Trump is getting ready to say, that I'm going to play it for you. Let's start with Lavrov. Let me lay the groundwork and we'll work our way to winding down. We're going to 3 o'clock. That's it. Listen. Zelensky came to the United States, did his tour, had his meeting with Trump. Zelensky came home. Zelensky went to Europe, had some good meetings, raised some support. Germany, Netherlands, other nations, 1.4 billion euros. North Korea now coming. That's unfolding. Mobilization, we're working on that. All of these things are happening. United States election unfolding and chugging now. We're getting so close. We're under 3 weeks, chugging along. Rammstein, we have to delay it because of Hurricane Milton. Now Joe Biden says United States president, which he'll be president in November, will come. We'll meet with Zelensky. Rammstein's going to happen. It's going to be after the election. That's where we're at. All these things happening. Now we start hearing some comments. I want you to hear these. First one is Lavrov. If you do not know who Lavrov is, he is the foreign minister for Russia. This is the guy, remember, always guys, be patient. You remember 6 weeks ago, he was dead. It was going through Twitter like hot fire, wildfire. And I was on the video going, guys, he's not dead. Stop believing this stuff. If you struggle, and just public service announcement here. If you don't know, check with me or Prof or Johnny or Rick, Dick, Andrew, anybody that's got their ear to the ground, Starsky, just send a message. Nick there, End Time News, he's ears on the ground. Just don't run with this stuff. Lavrov he wasn't even sick. All right, here's Lavrov.
As Putin said in June this year, we must consider the realities on the ground. Our stance is clear: no NATO membership, neutral status, and addressing the issues of Russian speakers who were stripped of their language rights, violating charters and conventions. We can't allow Ukraine to be used by the West to create direct threats to Russia. These are the realities on the ground.
So there you have it, guys. Point blank saying the West is using Ukraine, these charters, this territory, we're going with what Putin said. That's all you need to hear. That's the reiteration of it. What did Putin say? I'm going to play that for you, not today. Hopefully tomorrow, if not Monday at the latest. I'm working on translating it all. You need to hear what he said. But Lavrov stating it clearly. Ukraine's a pawn. We're not going to allow it to happen. We're not going to allow these relationships. We're not going to allow nuclear. We're not going to allow anything of that nature. That's where we're at. Zelensky.
And if Russia violated this document, though it was a guarantor, How can we trust this document or any partners who guaranteed our territorial integrity and sovereignty? The answer's simple. It doesn't work. This document doesn't work.
I want to pause right there. He's talking about multiple accords and multiple relationships that Ukraine had with the West after 1991. None of them worked. And what did Zelensky say? Do they work? They do not work. Thank you, President Zelensky, for telling it like it is. Back to Zelensky.
Nor do agreements with other major partners. No, they don't work. It wasn't just agreements between Ukraine and Russia, but Ukraine with all partners. So none of these agreements worked. Of these major countries, all nuclear states, who suffered? All? No, just one. Ukraine. Who gave up nuclear weapons? All? No, just one. Ukraine. Who's fighting today? Ukraine. So that's how it is for us. In my conversation with Donald Trump, I told him this is our situation. What's the solution? Either Ukraine will have nuclear weapons, then it's our protection, or we need some kind of alliance. NATO countries aren't at war. NATO people are alive, thank God. That's why we choose. We choose NATO, not nuclear weapons. We choose NATO.
There he is, guys, point blank. And you've seen people talking. Prof. Gertis did a video on it. Are we witnessing the beginning of a nuclear arms race? Good video from Prof. Gertis. If you haven't seen it, go find it on Prof. Gertis Explains UA. This is legitimate. Zelensky stating point blank. It's either NATO or nuclear. And we want NATO. We want an alliance. The people live freely there. The people live without war there. Help us. Help us. Great job, President Zelensky. Thank you for that. Papa Dutch, member for 6 months. Thank you. $5 super chat. Papa Dutch, only small cog in a great wheel of the universe. Yes, sir. And if you missed the early part talking about that, Papa Dutch, go check it out. Papa Dutch, member 6 months, $2. Lavrov looks like a high cholesterol poster boy. He really does. Blonde Bombsheller gifting 1 membership there. Thank you, BB, as always. Let me make sure. PRB coming in with a question, and then I'm going to get to the 2 videos as we close out. How is Zhenya doing? Zhenya's doing well. I will have new updates with you guys for the Kosovacs with incredible work that has been done on the anti-drone systems, drone jammers, night vision, all of that. The guys are working like crazy. They work, you can't say 24/7. They do sleep, but basically 24/7. Within days, the 2 other Kosovacs will be delivered. Our other Kosovacs will be modified there with our drone team, and you're going to see all of it. As far as his health, doing okay. He does have some more doctor work in a couple of weeks in Kyiv, and we will keep you guys updated on that. Thank you for your care. CZ, what is the current situation in Oleshki? I know you care very much about Oleshki, CZ, especially with the animal situation. Oleshki, guys, is a little town just south of Kherson across the Dnipro River. Very difficult there in the early war. Annette, it is a completely occupied city, small town. It is fully Russified, and the people live there under that occupation. It is not being shelled, and it's not being destroyed, the way it was, but it's horrible, horrible, living in that occupation. It's very bad, but that's just the truth. All right, let me get to now this, and we'll get ready to wind down. Donald Trump. Hate to close out with Donald, but this is going to prove a point. This is going to prove a point. I've shared with you the key comment of Lavrov, the key comment of Zelensky. We will cover the Putin comments out of the BRIC summit. You need to hear it. And why do you need to hear it? Because you need to hear this as well.
A very good relationship with President Xi, and a very good relationship with Putin, and a very good relationship with Kim Jong-un, who has a nuclear...
Okay, I have a very good relationship with Xi Jinping, who's put his nation on a war stance over the last 24 hours, even more. I have a good relationship with Vladimir Putin there in Russia. I have a good relationship there with Kim Jong-un. Okay, I'm going to show you the rest of the video, but I would not be sitting on a stage. I'm talking me. You guys are getting to know me now. I would not sit on a stage and say, I've got a good relationship with Putin. I've got a good relationship with Xi. I've got a good relationship with Kim Jong-un. Listen to me. And I want to stay on time because I need to get to the shills and I want you to go there. But please listen, I need to respect Annette's time because she's so important for the shills. But listen, the man just said he is good friends and good relationship with not only dictators, but killers. Killers. Putin responsible not only in Ukraine for the death and destruction and devastation. Kim Jong-un with literally millions of North Koreans that have been abused, mistreated, and killed. And Xi Jinping, the communistic regime there in China, can we just talk about the Muslims out in Western China that have been erased off this planet? But I'm good friends with them.
Force that you won't even believe. And by the way, today it was announced for those that he just blew up the railroad going into South Korea. That means South Korea is now cut off from Russia and China and various other places. Cut off by rail.
President Trump, you just mentioned.
No, but
Putin.
these are big things. I have to mention them.
Yeah, you just mentioned Putin, though, and this has been this controversy of the past week. Can you say yes or no whether you have talked to Vladimir Putin since you stopped being president?
Well, I don't comment on that, but I will tell you that if I did, it's a smart thing. If I'm friendly with people, if I have a relationship with people, that's a good thing, not a bad thing, in terms of a country. He's got 2,000 nuclear weapons, and so do we. China has a lot less, but they'll catch us within 5 years.
That sounds very much like you did talk to him.
I don't talk about that.
You talk about talking to Netanyahu, you talk about talking to these people.
There you have it, guys. And I'm going to play you one last clip. Let me send this. I got this one, Annette. $5 Papa Dutch. I bet Trump also has a good relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. Yes. Only Papa Dutch. You would give me that one as I'm getting ready to sign off. That is so funny. I believe he actually did, to be honest, but don't quote me on that. So finally, here's the last thing I'm leaving with you guys. These are the key comments this week. Thank you for the Q&A. If you enjoyed the Q&A, would you do me a favor and please just go in the chat when we're done and say, Greg, enjoyed the Q&A. Maybe you didn't ask a question, but maybe you had the same question. And I will always do my best to answer it. Maybe this is something we add to once a week. Just do a Q&A. I try to answer Q&As even during regular streams, but the channel's growing and the mod team is helping so much, but I miss some, and I hate to do that. But we can focus on it, and we're getting better streamlined for that. So thank you. If you enjoyed it, not during the live chat, but after, when we're done here in about 2 minutes, please just go in there and say, plus, or enjoyed the Q&A, and we will do more of it. In fact, I'd like maybe start putting guests in here and doing a Q&A for them. So just thinking out of the box. So finally, this is the last comment for the week, and it's stupid.
People say that. A lot of people say this will be our last election. You know, you've heard that too.
I listen for
it's so bad what they're doing to our country on the borders. It's so bad what they're doing with the money, the billions and billions of dollars. I think Zelensky's one of the greatest salesmen I've ever seen. Every time he comes in, we give him $100 billion. Who else got that?
Okay, I need to stop that right there. I am a conservative. You guys know that. But Donald Trump just told a bald-faced lie. Every time he comes here asking for money, we give him $100 billion. No, sir, you don't give him $100 billion. That is a lie. And today, October the 19th, 3:01 Eastern, I'm calling it out. That is a lie. Let me finish.
Dollars. I think Zelensky's one of the greatest salesmen I've ever seen. Every time he comes in, we give him $100 billion. Who else got that kind of money in history? There's never been. Mm. And that doesn't mean I don't want to help him, because I feel very badly for those people. But he should never have let that war start.
Okay. You need to listen to that one more time.
For those. And that doesn't mean I don't want to help him, because I feel very badly for those people. But he should never have let that war start. That war's a loser.
He should never have let that war start. My friends, not only does former President Trump lie about the money, but now he's blaming Zelensky for the war. Sorry. Wrong story. Guys, make sure you're paying attention and listening, because the truth will hit you. You'll recognize it. Let me finish out here. Papa Dutch, member 6 months, $2 super chat. I don't talk about that, Donald Trump. Just not good, $2 super chat. Donald Dump has a good relationship with Satan. If you have a good relationship with Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping and Kim Jong-un, yes, you do. That would be Satan and his minions. Johnny Nedregard, new member, my island Norwegian. Thank you for the awesome Q&A 2220 there, Norwegian. Thank you. I need to say thank you, Annette and Blonde Bombsheller and our other mods. Guys, I'm like in heaven over here. These guys have the information rolling. Here, I'll just show you. The stream's right here, but right here, this monitor, that's a corner of a monitor. They're just pushing the information for me, and I'm not having to hunt for it and get lost. All I can say is thank you. Janice Burgess, no, he was not blaming Biden. He was blaming Zelensky for the war. 100%. 100%. Papa Dutch, I'll get that one. Who else has that kind of money? Well, what about your new pal, Elon? That is correct. Guys, thank you. And I just have to say it one more time. Thank you. Thank you to Annette and BB and our other mods. You guys are the best. Love you all on this Saturday. Enjoy your family. Enjoy the outdoors. If you're heading to bed, get a good sleep. If not, come join us on the Shills. That's at the Shills with Dick Dawson and the entire gang over there. I'm going to sign off here, push you there, and say thank you to everyone. God bless you. And please keep your eyes open. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and turn that notification bell on, because videos can drop at any time, and we're trying to make them better and better all the time. Additionally, join the Discord. It's really good. I promise you, you won't be dissatisfied with that decision. And finally, thank you. Thank you to the community. Thank you for all that you do. Be blessed. Continue to stand with Ukraine. Continue to do what is right. Do something nice for somebody today. Have a good day.
Слава Україні!